we're jumping into two really cool but totally different stories about flying. One is all about facing your biggest fears, and the other, well, it's basically a ghost story that takes place thousands of feet in the air. Let's get right to it. I mean, seriously, have you ever had that feeling? You know the one. Maybe it's giving a speech in class or standing on the high dive for the first time. It's that moment where every part of your brain is just screaming, nope. But you know you've got to do it anyway. Yeah, we've all been there. And that exact feeling is what we're going to explore. We're going to check out his first flight, which is about a young seagull who's just got to conquer his fear. And then we'll get into the Black Airplane, a super spooky mystery about a pilot who gets lost in a massive storm. Okay, so first up, his first flight. This story is all about that battle you have inside your own head. You know, the one where you're right on the edge of doing something huge and scary for the very first time. So let me introduce you to our hero, a little seagull totally stranded on a cliff's edge. His brother and sister, oh, they're already out there soaring around like it's no big deal. But him, he's frozen solid. He looks down at the huge ocean below, and all he can think is, there's no way my wings will work. I'm just going to fall. So what does his family do? Well, this is where it gets interesting. They go for the tough love approach. Big time. They're on the cliff across from him, yelling, making fun of him for being a coward, and even threatening to just let him starve if he doesn't take the leap. They're trying literally everything to get him to just go for it. He's been stuck there for a whole day, and he is starving. He sees his mom tearing up a piece of fish, and the sight of it just about drives him insane. And that's when she does something totally brilliant. She grabs a piece of that fish and starts flying toward him, getting closer and closer, dangling that food right where he can see it. Oh, he just completely loses it. You can just hear how desperate he is. He's not even thinking about how scared he is to fall anymore. All he can think about is that fish. He's at his absolute breaking point, and his hunger is way, way stronger than his fear now. So his mom gets just within reach, and then she just stops, hovering in the air. The little seagull is so desperate for food, he just dives for it and completely tumbles off the edge of the cliff. For a split second, his worst nightmare comes true. He's just falling. But then something incredible happens. That pure terror only lasts for a moment. Then his instincts just take over. His wings automatically spread out. The wind rushes underneath them, and suddenly, he's not falling. He's flying. And just like that, the fear is totally gone, replaced by this amazing feeling of soaring through the air. His whole family swoops in, flying all around him, cheering and celebrating. He'd completely forgotten he was ever even scared. Because he was pushed right to his limit, he found a strength he had no idea he even had. Okay, so let's switch gears. We're going from a story about a fear inside your head to a story about a very real, very mysterious danger from the outside. So get ready, because the tone of the Black Airplane is about to get a whole lot creepier. This pretty much sums up how fast things go from perfect to terrifying. Our narrator is a pilot flying his old plane from Paris back to England. Everything's great, the sky is clear, he's thinking about the big breakfast he's going to have with his family, but then he sees them, storm clouds that look like giant black mountains. He decides to fly straight into them, and instantly, his world goes completely dark. And now he's in serious trouble. His compass is just spinning wildly, his radio is totally dead, and he's running out of fuel. He is completely and utterly lost. Then, out of nowhere, another plane just appears in the darkness. A totally black plane with no lights on it at all. But he can see the other pilot, and he waves, telling him to follow. I mean, what else is he going to do? He's just so relieved to see anyone at all. He puts all his trust in this total stranger in the pitch-black sky, following him like a, quote, obedient child. At this point, it's his only way out. He follows the plane for what feels like forever, and then finally, he sees the lights of an airport runway. He lands safely, and the very first thing he wants to do is find the pilot who just saved his life and thank him. He turns around to look for the black plane, but the sky is completely empty. So he goes into the control tower to ask where the other pilot went. And this is the twist. The woman in the control tower just gives him this strange look. She says, "Another airplane?" No, there were no other planes up there tonight. In that storm, your plane was the only thing on the radar. Just yours. And that's it. That's where the story ends. It just leaves you hanging with this huge, unanswered question. So who was it? A ghost? Was our pilot just imagining things because of the stress? Or was it something else? We just don't know. So, okay, we've got one story about an amazing success and one that's a total mystery. They seem like they couldn't be more different, right? But let's connect the dots here, because they both have something really important to say about what it means to be brave. This breaks it down perfectly. In his first flight, the whole problem is internal. It's the seagull fighting the fear in his own mind. But in the black aeroplane, the problem is external. It's an experienced pilot against a deadly storm. So the seagull has to find courage inside himself, while the pilot gets help from some mysterious outside force. And here it is, the main idea that ties these two stories together. Both of them were pushed to their absolute limit. In that moment of pure terror, they had no choice but to act. The seagull had to dive. The pilot had to trust a stranger. It just goes to show you that courage isn't about not being afraid. Courage is about being terrified and doing it anyway. Which, of course, brings this all back to you. We all have our own cliffs to jump from, our own storms to get through. It might not be literal flying, but it's that one big, scary thing that's standing between you and where you want to go. So the real question these stories leave us with is this: